Hey guys, welcome to Life Group Download. Today we're going to talk about leading discussion. And so we're going to talk about 4 different ways that you can lead discussion in your group. A friend of mine always used to say that leading a small group in discussion could be like, I don't know, being on a blind date. There's a lot of awkward conversation, you want it to go well, but it gets weird at times. There are long, uncomfortable silences. You don't know where the conversation is headed. And sometimes leading a life group can be the same way. It can be like being on a blind date. People won't answer, it gets quiet. And so you find yourself going, man, I don't know how to lead this discussion. So I want to give you just a few tips on how to do that. And the very first thing is getting the conversation started. It starts before the study. So if you're catching up on your week and you're just talking to people as they walk in, just be attentive in those conversations. Listen to where they're at. Listen to the things that they're struggling with, because that's going to help you guide the conversation for that evening just a little bit. How do you go from just catching up on your week to talking about a study? One way could be just sharing a quote. It could be a quote from the person that you're studying that evening. It could be a Bible verse. It could be something that you heard that week, but you just share it in the group and you go, hey, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that's true? Do you think that's false? Do you agree with that? Another thing is just ask a question. It's like, man, when we were going through the study tonight, was there anything that hit you weird that you thought was kind of strange? Was there something that maybe you heard for the very first time that you're like, that is brand new? Maybe you even just got angry at the material. I don't know, whatever it is. Maybe they're excited about the material, but just ask a question. It goes, well, what do you guys think about that? And how did that hit you? So ask a question and just kind of see how they react. And then the last thing is this, just share a story. Maybe it's a story that's personal to you. All of these things, just make sure that it connects with the material. But when you share a story that's personal to you, that also invites other people to share as well. When you share something of yourself, people want to share something of themselves as well. The second thing is when you're facilitating a conversation, just be prepared. I would say the best way to be prepared is to read ahead. If you're reading a book or if you're doing a video study, make sure that you're familiar with the material, because when you get in there, you kind of want to guide the conversation, facilitate the conversation, and that's really going to help you do that. The other thing is just print off some questions. It's real simple. Right Now Media, Life Church, all of these places have free resources that you can use and just print off questions that you can ask within your group. And then the last thing is just have a point. It sounds really simple and it's like, well, duh, yeah, I want to have a point. But sometimes you ask questions, you talk about verses, and you get turned around in the conversation. If you have one single point that you want to make for the evening, that's going to guide the conversation as a whole. And then the third way that you can facilitate conversation is by asking a question and then backing away. And so what I mean is sometimes you ask a question and your group is silent. I don't know if you've ever had that situation where you ask a question, people look at you just with cow eyes or like you have 10 heads or whatever. But you ask a question and they know that if they wait long enough, you're just going to answer it for them, and just don't do it. Just kind of sit back and go, I could sit here all day, but what do you guys think? I just want to hear what you think. And so if you don't answer the question, they'll want to answer the question in turn. And maybe another way to do that is by just calling on somebody. I mean, don't call on people that are uncomfortable with it, but call on people that like, man, if I ask Jim over here, I know he's going to give a good answer. And so, hey, Jim, what'd you think about that? Remember that you're a facilitator and you're not a teacher. This is not your chance to teach everybody what you know. You're not like the master rabbi and these are your disciples. This is a chance for you to engage them in conversation and invite them in. And so whatever their answer is, you just facilitate. Maybe you call on the next person. Maybe you offer a story again, but you just kind of keep the conversation going, facilitate it, and don't answer all the questions. And then the very last way, the fourth way that you can facilitate a conversation is this, through prayer. Now, you could do that at the very beginning of the conversation or at the very end, but it's amazing what happens when you share prayer requests. Prayer requests are very personal, and so these are the things that they're struggling with or through that particular week. And it's amazing, if you do that at the end, sometimes they're just beginning to start talking, and then you're like, well, we got to go. Let's just pray real quick and we'll get out of here. So maybe you switch it to the very beginning of the conversation. Let people share prayer requests. And it's amazing how much that'll get people talking. So those are 4 ways that you can facilitate conversation. I hope that's helpful. We'll see you next time.